Now, we know that buying property is not always a straightforward job, but a good starting point is to do your research and buy at the right price.
And a property auction is a great place to look.
Yeah, let's see what today's bidders decided to buy.
In Wales, we find a laid-back approach to renovation work.
Probably come up here the odd weekend with my wife and my 2 children.
Whereas it's slightly more swift in Staffordshire.
In 6 months' time, I'll be very disappointed if it isn't finished and rented out by then.
But that's nothing compared to the scramble to sell in Streatham.
He wants to put an open day 3 days from now.
What? All these properties have been sold at auction. We'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
You're so well done.
This is Aberarman, a village in Glamorgan situated 20 miles north of Cardiff. And this now quiet residential village was once a hive of industry.
My days were filled with blue skies and the evenings drifted slowly and so kind. I'm just dreaming about the days I left behind.
Well, like many parts of South Wales, this area's history is closely linked with the coal mining industry. Well, the pits have long closed, but a legacy of coal miners' cottages has been left, and that's exactly what I'm here to see. £35,000 plus was the guide price for this, a 2-bedroomed mid-terrace cottage. Newish front door, double glazing and a roof in good order. From the outside, it's all looking really rather promising. So pretty standard layout. Entrance hall here, stairs to your bedrooms and then into your lounge. It's got a really nice feel to it. Lots of light pouring in through the windows. It's got a dual aspect. Still got doors on that to separate out each room. You may want to increase the size of that gap, perhaps, make it even more open plan. But it certainly does give the cottage a nice open feel. Definitely to get the fireplace checked out. But then typical design through here to the back of the property where you've got your kitchen. Well, you know, it's pretty serviceable. You could live with this, I think. If you were going to live in it, maybe you'd want to spend a bit of money doing it up. I think certainly a bit of time and effort, whatever you are going to do with the property, rent it or sell it on or whatever, would be well spent. But at least you've got the space to play with. Not bad at all. Along with the perfectly serviceable kitchen, expensive things such as central heating and double glazing are already installed. And with what was a £35,000 plus guide price, I think you could afford to have a bit of fun bringing this up to date and making it quite impressive. How about a wood-burning stove? Maybe some modern doors, contemporary lighting, solid wood floors, who knows? Let that imagination run wild. So upstairs, and good news and bad news. The bad news first, the floor. Just on the landing here, it is very, very, well, what's the word? Wonky, that'll do. Yeah, it's angled that way. It's probably historic subsidence. A lot of that went on in these kind of properties. That's the bad news. The great news is, look, upstairs here, you wouldn't have expected this. You've got a bathroom and a separate loo. An odd bit of space. I wonder if at some stage this was actually a bedroom and somebody's actually converted it into this. I don't know. Whatever, it's great that the bathroom and loo are up here. You would have expected it downstairs, so a real bonus. I don't think the upstairs layout makes good use of the space, but you could knock through the wall from the toilet to create a rather spacious bathroom. You could possibly even incorporate this bit of the corridor if you really wanted to push the boat out. The 2 bedrooms, however, are great, with the master bedroom being really sizable, and the 2 large windows make it airy and bright. So, after a general refurbishment, the property should be ready for rental or resale. But there is one issue that might not be to everyone's liking. Well, the house is located right on the edge of this reasonably busy road. There's nothing unusual about that necessarily, but something you don't see a lot of is a house which is situated literally on a bend in the road. Why is that an issue as far as I'm concerned? Well, you get cars coming down like this. During the day, it's okay, but at night, with headlights on, their headlights will be shining straight into your lounge. So it's a classic case of making sure you visit a property at different times of the day to make sure you've assessed all the pros and cons. This is a con. Sorry to throw in that curveball, but this could put some potential buyers off, as could the rather steep incline the house is on too.
There's a place up ahead and I'm going just as fast as my feet can fly. Come on the rising wind, we're going up around the bend.
The plus is that one would hope cars would slow down to go around the corner, so you won't have them racing past. But parking near the property is also going to be an issue. At least there's potentially some good outside space at the rear of the property, once it's all been hacked back. And it's surprisingly flat and level, with quite impressive hillside views. So the cottage isn't without its merits, but what can a local estate agent tell us?
It's a slightly quirky property, I think one would say. It's a property that does need some considerable modernising to bring it up to sort of current standards. There are certainly some sort of unusual angles in this house, and you do feel that your equilibrium is a little bit off at certain angles. It's probably historic, but any purchaser here should sort of investigate that thoroughly by getting somebody in from a surveying background to look at it with some serious detail.
Yes, structural movement is best looked at by the professionals, but are there any changes to the layout that could improve it?
There is potential with these properties to split the front bedroom because it's a large bedroom. The only issue with that is that you do end up with 3 smaller bedrooms, and sometimes it's not that beneficial in doing that.
Yes, sometimes less is more, but can you build any value into a property that was guided at £35,000 plus?
If the property was fully modernised throughout and brought up to a good modern standard, a potential sales value of up to £60,000.
Well, that's encouraging. And how would it fare on the rental market?
If the property was brought up to a modern standard, I would imagine a rental value in the region of £400 per calendar month.
Well, it's a nice enough little property. The location on this S-bend might be a bit of an issue for some, but apart from that, for that guide price, I don't think you can go far wrong. Let's see who agreed when it went under the hammer.
Brings us nicely then on to lot number 31, which is a house we've suggested may be suitable for owner occupation or investment. We see 30 to start. 30, make it 25 then if you like. Thank you, 25 I got you. At 25. And 6 can I see? 26, thank you, 26, 27, 27, 28, 29, 29 no. At 28, 29 now somebody. 29, thank you. And 30 behind, 30, 31, 31, 32, 33.
So this lot was proving popular, and we rejoined the bidding at £42,000.
42, 42 and a half, 42 and a half, 43, 43 and a half, 44, 44 and a half, 45 and a half, 45 and a half, no. At £45,000 with you then for the first time, second time, third and last time. You're so well done.
And so the hammer fell at £45,000. And the successful bidder for the 2-bed terraced house in Aberarman is Jolyon. Jolyon and his family live in Gloucester, and he joined me back at the cottage with his eldest daughter, 11-year-old Yasmin. Jolyon, good to meet you.
And you?
Congratulations. Tell me why you wanted to buy this place.
Basically, it's a bit of a project, a bit of a part-time project. Quite often in the winter, I go a little bit quiet work-wise. I just thought it'd be a perfect little place to come and hide.
You're definitely. What's your work?
I'm a decorator.
OK. Well, that's convenient then.
Yeah.
Have you done anything like this before?
Yeah, numerous projects. Done a few extensions on previous houses, and most recently bought a plot of land at auction.
Oh, wow.
And did a self-build.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. Best thing I've ever done.
Did it turn out how you hoped?
Yeah, exactly. When you build it yourself, you can just put it in the right angle to the sun. You can the kids get to choose the size of their bedroom, so it was great.
This is to be Jolion's first property renovation, and he hopes to rent it out on completion. But after doing a new build, this place should be a relative doddle. So what are the main issues then, and how are you going to deal with them?
Upstairs, the shower that's up there is going to be coming out and put a bath in.
OK.
I was thinking possibly about putting a third bedroom upstairs.
Where?
In the main bedroom. When I got my tape measure out today, and I think it could be a bit of a squeeze to put a third bedroom in. So possibly that's going to stay as it is, and obviously major decoration all round, new doors.
So what about the slopey floors upstairs?
To be honest, I think it's been like that since the year dot. And I've jumped up and down up there, and I just think it's just a quirky cottage.
Nothing to worry about.
No.
So what's the budget?
I'm sort of thinking 5,000, give or take.
Right. So what work will you be doing?
Basically all of it.
Right, in between doing your normal work?
Yeah, I mean, this is really going to be a part-time project when I'm a bit quiet work-wise. I'll probably be coming up here the odd weekend with my wife and my 2 children, and they all muck in.
Right.
I usually make the mess and they help clean up.
OK.
Yasmin absolutely loves getting involved and telling me, I think you should do that, Dad, maybe. How about do this? And that's great, isn't it?
Oh, she's bossing you around?
Yeah, of course she does.
Well, I think it's high time we speak to the boss, 11-year-old Yasmin, and find out exactly what is planned for the house. So tell me about this house. What do you think about it?
It's got a lot of things to do, and there needs a lot of painting and more work.
And what are you going to do you think?
Designing and decorating the property.
Your dad says that he makes a mess and you tell him what to do and you tidy up after him. Is that right?
Yeah.
So is it something you think you might like to do when you're a bit older?
Yeah.
What do you think you might be then?
I want to be like my dad and doing a lot of things like that.
Daddy, Daddy cool. Daddy cool.
With help from Yasmin and the rest of the family, Jolion is hoping to complete the work in 5 to 6 months. So after this then, more projects?
Yeah, definitely. Just see how this goes and just see what happens.
Great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing how you get on.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well, I think Jolion has chosen well with this property and certainly has the skills to get it sorted after building his own home. And with Yasmin keeping him on track, it should be a successful renovation. You can find out how it all goes later in the show.
I'm off now to another area where coal previously played a big part in the local industry. Longton is the southernmost of 6 towns that make up Stoke-on-Trent, which in the 19th century was at the epicentre of fine ceramic tableware production, giving the area its potteries moniker. But long before dinner plates, coal was the main product. A quarter of a mile away from Longton and its amenities is the former colliery village of Adderley Green. The property I'm here to see today is a 3-bed, semi-detached with a guide price of £55,000 plus. Now, here it is, and my first impressions are a little bit untidy, but I've noticed the off-street parking, which is a massive, massive plus. A tidy up here would add value too. More ominously, years of frost damage has taken its toll on the clay tiles. There's only one remedy, like many of the neighbouring houses, re-roofing. Okay, the first thing that hits you is a smell of pets. It's got to be dogs. I recognise the smell. I've had 2 dogs myself, and just judging by the hair on this carpet that I can see on the stairs, it's definitely dogs. Coming in here to this lovely big living room, I'll watch my head on this low lampshade, but this is the problem. Not so much the height, is this electrics would need to be sorted out. I like this room, it's not too bad. Let's have a snoop about. Okay, kitchen through here, nice big space, just seems to need a bit of a refit. Dining room, I would have imagined, would have been in here, but for me, knock this wall through, give you a lovely big kitchen dining room overlooking the garden, but I think my first impressions were dogs, and I think that puts me right. Down here, you've got a little bit of plaster damage, a bit more dog damage down here, and as I look around the room, some more over there. I think there's a little bit of work in here that needs to be done.
Who let the dogs out?
By the looks of it, nobody. These canines have expensive taste. Man's best friend? And it looks like dogs weren't the only problem living in this house. I wouldn't want to eat in this dining room anytime soon. The kitchen, as I mentioned, needs more of a standard refurbishment, but there's a lot of problems to see through before any potential buyer could warm to this place. And to say the plumbing is decrepit would be an understatement. On the plus side, the lounge is spacious and bright thanks to a fantastic bay window. Sadly though, the pooches have put their stamp on the woodwork here. And it looks like upstairs hasn't escaped those munching canines either. OK, what I can see here is the banister. 2 spindles missing, a bit more dog damage, a bit rickety. Replace this, it's not safe. Master bedroom there, the biggest of the 3. Middle bedroom there, children's bedroom there. I'm guessing it's a children's, it's pink. And the bathroom there, bit of TLC, bit of a clean, seems OK. I think this bathroom could be revised with a bit of elbow grease and some good cleaning materials. Summing up the upstairs, bedroom 1 is a decent size, although the dodgy plumbing comes through here. The black wardrobes dominate bedroom 2, and the box room would fit a child's bed fine. What about outside? It's a nice space. Needs a bit of tending to. Behind that wall there, a little bit of patio, potentially barbecue area. Inside, a bit of TLC, bit of money spent on it. This is a lovely family home in the making. And at the bottom of the garden, a seasonal bonus.
I'm brought back like a flip when it's blackberry picking time.
We asked an estate agent who knows the local market along to give us her opinions on the property and some all-important valuations.
First impressions of the property, there is obviously quite a lot of work to be done, but for the area, it is a standard 3-bedroom, semi-detached. Got a lot of outside space, which is great for buy-to-let investors looking to appeal to families. I'd probably recommend to knock the kitchen diner through, so you have got quite a large open-plan living space there, because it's more suitable now to modern living with people with small children.
So we agree on that then. And given the guide price of £55,000 plus, is there likely to be a profit on this investment?
I estimate it costs somewhere in the region of £10,000 to £15,000 to fully refurbish the property, but of course along the way you might uncover some nasty little problems.
I wonder if she's included the electrics in that. If she has, it would take the total investment to £70,000, assuming there are no nasty problems. But what would its market value be then?
Once fully refurbished, I'd anticipate this property would achieve somewhere in the region of £75,000 to £80,000 on the sale market and somewhere in the region of £450 per calendar month on the rental market.
So what you've got a nice family home, a little bit of money does need spending on it, but potentially, if you get your budget right, this could be a nice little investment. Let's see who wanted it when it went under the hammer.
Lot 23, Adderley Green in Stoke. It's a 3-bedroom semi. There's gas, central heating, double glazing, off-street parking and a large garden. 55 is the guide. Can I say 50 to start? 45 then. 45 bid at £45,000 seated. 46, 47.
Accepting a lower bid to start, the auctioneer goes in £1,000 steps up to the guide price of £55,000, where we rejoin the bidding.
55, 56, 57, 58, half same, 57 and a half, 58, another half. At £58,000, gentleman's bid seated, no mistake against you standing. At £58,000, are we all done? £58,000 then once. £58,000 twice, third and last time. £58,000. You bought it, sir. Well done.
The successful bidder, in from the first bid to the last, is Kevin, who works in digital marketing. I met him minus his moustache back at his £58,000 purchase. Kevin, nice to meet you, and congratulations, well done. Tell me what attracted you to this particular property.
Well, I just saw the potential, really. It's in need of decorative modernisation, as you can see. But beneath that, there's a really solid family home here. So hopefully, with a little bit of work, we can bring that family home back.
And your experience in property, how far does that go?
Well, I bought a few years ago, I bought a very similar house, and it was hadn't been lived in for 2 years, hadn't been decorated for 20 years before that, and I took it back to basics, full cosmetic restoration, and it's rented out very successfully. You've got really good tenants in there, and so I thought about doing another one.
And what do you envisage you're going to do with this?
Everything, really. So this one, the roof needs fixing.
Okay.
So that's the first and most important thing. But apart from that, re-plaster all the walls and the ceilings, new doors, new skirts, new architraves, new door frames, a new bathroom, new kitchen. I've got a 15,000 budget, and if I can really squeeze the budget, maybe do something with the front drive as well.
Kevin has a huge list of to-dos for that budget. It certainly seems quite tight, so maybe I shouldn't mention my ideas on how to improve the house. The kitchen, I was potentially thinking knock it through, one big kitchen diner. Is that what you're thinking yourself?
I had a thought about that, and yeah, a nice kitchen diner would be would look good. But I think a lot of people in this part of the world like the traditional separate dining room.
Okay.
And with the expense of having to do the roof, I could do with saving the cost because it is a supporting wall.
Being a supporting wall does mean extra complications and extra expense. Kevin would need a structural engineer to calculate the size of the steel joist needed to take the weight, plus the cost of the steel, and I'd recommend getting a professional builder to carry out this type of work. Okay, so is it just you? Is this a sole project?
Well, it's I'll do as much of the work as I can, purely because I value my labour cheaper than that of tradesmen. But where a finish is needed, then I'll get plasterers to do the plastering. I'll get professionals to do all of the professional trades. But as much of the work that I can do, it saves on the budget.
So you mentioned costs. Now, have you got builders you've used before?
Well, I know a number of tradesmen. A particular friend of mine, Scott, is a plasterer.
Okay.
So there's a lot of work for him here, and I'll do the manual labour, and he can do the bit that is the skilled bit with his trowel.
What time have you given yourself to complete this one?
3 to 6 months to do this one. I don't want too hard a time scale because you never know what turns up. And some things you can do quicker, and most things take a bit longer than you think.
Okay.
But in 6 months' time, I'll be very disappointed if it isn't finished and rented out by then, and hopefully a bit sooner.
And moving forward, Kevin, is this your last one, or do you want to buy more?
Well, let's see how things go.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to build an empire in a year or 2 years. It's the other property's doing very well. This property, if it goes the same, then I probably will in the next year or two look to buy a third, and just see how it goes from there, really.
Okay. Well, Kev, good luck. I hope it goes the way you want it to go, and let's see how you get on.
Thank you very much.
Take care. So, Kevin is slowly building up his property portfolio. The work he's found and come across doesn't seem to faze him at all. But will the budget he set out bring this house up to scratch, or will the house be left begging for more? You can find out later on in the programme.
Coming up, I'm sensing good things in a house in South London.
I always get a feeling instantly when I walk through a door, and this feels like a very nice home.
We return to Staffordshire to see if Kevin has any new career plans.
I'll keep the day job. I think if you had too many properties, it'd turn into work.
But first, we travel 20 miles north of Cardiff to the small Welsh village of Aberarmon. And it was here that we first came across this two-bed terrace cottage that, for the most part, was OK. But it did have a few faults that might drive you round the bend. And it wasn't just the position or the state of the interior that was letting the property down.
The floor. Just on the landing here, it is very, very, well, what's the word? Wonky, that'll do.
But none of this put off painter and decorator Joe Leon from buying the house for £45,000 at auction. And together with some family help, he thought he had a good idea of what work was needed.
I was thinking possibly about putting a third bedroom upstairs.
Where?
In the main bedroom. When I first, I got my tape measure out today, and I think it could be a bit of a squeeze to put a third bedroom in. So possibly that's going to stay as it is, and obviously major decoration all round, new doors.
So what about the slopey floors upstairs?
To be honest, I think it's been like that since the year dot. And I've jumped up and down up there, and I just think it's just a quirky cottage.
So there are a few tasks to tackle, but having previously done a self-build, surely this cottage renovation will be pretty straightforward. Joe Leon's given himself a £5,000 budget to do the refurbishment work, and he was planning to fit it in around his decorating job. Now, 5 months later, we're back with Joe Leon and his eldest daughter Yasmin to see how they got on.
The improvements I've made downstairs have been to open plan the 2 rooms, put an RSJ up.
It's not just been opened up, it's been replastered throughout and has new woodwork and doors.
The improvement I made to the kitchen was just to basically extend what I already had.
Yes, that's all that was really needed here.
Upstairs, putting in the new wall, because it was a 2-bedroom, making it into a 3-bedroom.
And so did he go for that 3rd bedroom after all?
We decided to keep the bathroom and toilet separately, purely because it just seemed to work fine.
Yes, I think that's the right decision. And there was a change of plan for those wonky floorboards.
Lifted all the floorboards up and re-levelled the whole upstairs. It was quite an angle, really, so we got it really nice and level. It's as level as a billiard table.
So, a couple of unexpected turnarounds here, but he's put the whole house back on a level footing. Though I think that changing this into a 3-bed house is perhaps the most significant alteration.
We thought we'd go for a 3rd bedroom purely because the bedroom was just too big to be just 1 bedroom, and it was calling out for a 3rd bedroom for the sake of putting a false wall up. It was quite easy.
Even though the 3rd bedroom is really just a single, I think it probably was the right move from an investment point of view. With the rear garden given a good tidy up, it makes this now more appealing as a family home. Talking of family, how involved in this project was Joe Leon's daughter, Yasmin?
It wasn't just Yasmin, it was the whole family. We were all up here, made nice weekends of it, and we came up here and we even brought the dog Jasper, our new puppy. He came up and he had a bit of fun outside, and yeah, it was great, yeah, just all mucked in.
Ah, but what refurbishment jobs did 11-year-old Yasmin enjoy doing most?
I liked painting the doors and grouting the tiles and learning new things about all the designing and renovating properties. I want to do something like this again, especially when I'm older.
A budding property developer in the making, to be sure. But has all this family support helped keep the costs down?
We spent just under 6,000, so I was really chuffed at that. You know, when I said 5,000, give or take, and it was slightly, but that was fine.
A £6,000 spend on top of Joe Leon's £45,000 purchase price takes his total spend to £51,000. To me, that sounds like good value for money. But what do 2 local estate agents think? First, the agent who saw it previously.
The current owners have appeared to have a successful renovation here since our first trip. It's now a very neutral property, aligning it very well with both the sales and the rental market.
I think the property has been modernised throughout to a good standard. The owner has used neutral colours, making it very bright and airy.
It was definitely beneficial creating the third bedroom here for the sake of putting up a stud wall here and creating that extra room. It will increase the value for both the sales and the rental market.
So far, Jolyon has invested £51,000 into this now 3-bed property. He had planned to rent out the house, but now he's thinking of selling on. Maybe the numbers will help him make up his mind.
Now that it's a 3-bed dwelling, this property could achieve in the region of £70,000.
I think the property could achieve £75,000, so I would recommend an asking price of £80,000.
Yeah, I was expecting round about them figures, so they're sort of like spot on to what I was hoping for, so no, great news.
Well, that's a potential pre-tax profit of between £19,000 and £24,000, less the usual expenses, of course, so that's not bad. What about its rental potential?
If they were to place this to the rental market, I would estimate a rental value of £450 per calendar month.
For rental purposes, the property is likely to achieve £425 per calendar month.
That's great. So, yeah, we've got something else to fall back on.
And even the lower £425 per calendar month rental return